I had always heard that we were nicknamed Cancer Alley, but I didn't really grasp the gravity or know that that was why we were being called that. I didn't know that those chemicals that was being burned off caused cancer. And I reflected on the smells I smelled as a little girl here, and that that's not normal. Other people's communities aren't like that.
You see what you're looking at up there? And if we drive down here, the families here have been impacted horribly. Every one of these homes on this street has had a death from cancer. The cancer rate here is unbelievable. We have the evidence in the death certificates, unfortunately. And this is where the school is located, 400 yards from the fence line of that plant. And the children at this school has been exposed to levels of chloroprene that's from 400 to 700 times what EPA says is a safe level. My major fight in this has been to protect these children. It's too obvious what is taking place here. You'll see some signs warning us to don't trespass on their property, but those chemicals trespass on our bodies. This was a thriving black community here. Straight back here was the cemetery. I lived on this street as a child. Man, I can't describe what this does to me every time I come back here. Let me go and see if I can locate my folk. We have to continue our fight here. I'm going to continue to fight to protect our people, and especially for more respect for our deceased, for our loved ones who are expected to rest in peace under these conditions.
Well, I was born and raised in St. James. My parents raised cattle. We had so many pecan trees. We would sell our pecans and use that money for school supplies, school clothes. It was just that much we made off of the pecans. And my daddy would bring that to the French market in New Orleans to sell. You would walk out the door, take a deep breath of clean air. We don't have that anymore. It's gone because of the industries in this area. I think I was about 13 or 14 back then, and I didn't know industry would be a problem to us having clean air and clean water and being able to make a garden anymore. I didn't know I was being polluted, and I didn't know the air was dirty, and I didn't know I was drinking benzene, besides other chemicals. But benzene stuck out to me because they said it caused cancer. It bothered me just to know that I'm drinking benzene and not knowing it. There was too many funerals. People were just dying, just dropping, and not knowing it was industry that was causing the deaths of a lot of these people. Most time is coming from the pollution. And people didn't even know what was going on.
In Louisiana, we were living in an area with multiple facilities, specifically petrochemical facilities and oil refineries, releasing over 800 million pounds of pollution into the air, water, and soil, and community people really finally feeling that they had to do something about it because of the loss of life, the loss of property, property values. Nothing would grow, just their lives becoming miserable, as opposed to the happy place it was when they were growing up. And I see the Han rule as being the beginning where we can legally enforce rules that better protect communities from extremely dangerous or hazardous pollutants that are killing us. And so when Administrator Regan decided to have this Journey to Justice tour, our center was more than happy to join in with him to make certain that he got on the ground meeting communities that were absolutely affected by the chemical industry.
My husband always fed the birds, so I keep that tradition going because he always loved to take care of the birds. He loved the golden delicious apples. These was the last year that he worked, and this was the guys that he worked with. May as well say I got a shrine of him. There's not a room in this house, I don't think, that doesn't have a picture of him in it. We were married for 63 years. He loved it so much here, and I don't know, and he died here, so you know I really hate to let go of the house. It's like he's still here. Actually, our garbage man was the one that brought it to my attention. He was getting garbage out there one day, and he said, "How was Mr. Runyon?" And I said, "He passed away." And he said, "Oh God, I didn't know that." He said, "What happened?" And I said, "He died of cancer." He said, "Well, the gentleman up there died of cancer too." He said, "Makes you wonder if there's something in the water." Well, we had mountain water. I found out later on that the pipes went back into the mines. I didn't know that when we moved here. I was told that they flood the mines and leave the equipment in there, the batteries and stuff like that. What have we been drinking for all these years? I just thought it come from a spring. I'm sure that there's other places that's here that is still getting water from abandoned mines. My husband died of cancer. My neighbor's wife died, her husband died of cancer. There's been a couple on down the street here have died of cancer. And it kind of makes you wonder, did that mountain water have something to do with it?
Here in the county, people are really, they're hardworking people. They're used to maybe going through some tough times. They worked with the mines and they were in and out of work, and it's home to us, and we want to make things better in the county. You know, the coal companies, when they were here, they took care of everything. They maintained the systems that they put in, water and sewer. But when they pulled out, all that ended. And so now it was left to the towns and the residents, community citizens to take care of the water systems. But the thing is, they don't have the funding or the manpower to keep those up. And the PSD, we've taken over a lot of those systems that have failed in the past. As soon as, you know, we take over a system, we start applying for funding. We do immediate repairs to make the system as safe as we can to operate. But there's, you know, there's only so much money that you can put into that out of your operating budget because, you know, we operate on a very tight budget here. We still have a lot of infrastructure that needs to be brought up to date. You know, it's a struggle trying to maintain those systems while they're in, you know, a shape that they're leaking everywhere. It's not a job that you can go home at night and forget about. I mean, it's on your mind all the time. You're seeing people in the grocery store that are asking you questions about when are you going to get water to my area. I've been very fortunate. I've always had public water where I lived, but I know there are a lot of other residents that have not had that. They catch the runoff from the gutters. They carry water. They go to the side of the mountain, get water running off the mountain in the springs. You know, they do what they can, but, you know, we want to help them. We want to make their life better.
About 2 years ago, this community was in dire need of fresh water. They were having problems with the mountain water, not having enough water access from the mountain in the summertime when it dried out, or lines messing up, or freezing in the wintertime.
When the water would get down real, real low, we would take the truck when my husband was alive, and we'd go up there on the road, and we'd fill up anywhere from 40 to 50 jugs and set them on the back porch. That way we would have water whenever the water got down too low. I can't do that. I'm almost 80 years old. I can't do that no more. Well, if they had to put the water in here, I was going to sell this place, because there was no way, after him being gone and everything, there was no way I could run after that water.
I come into the community, knocked on the doors of some of the homes. Rosa was actually the first one that I knocked on. I asked her, is she interested in having viable, clean drinking water, and she said yes.
It's been a blessing. We've got good, clean water. It's not coming out of the mines. I know I don't have to run out of water as long as I pay the water bill. I don't have to worry about running out of water. I'm hoping that, sooner or later, that everybody here in McDowell County will have access to good water, because we need it.
I mean, you just can't live without water. It's just so basic. It's just such a very basic need, and everyone has a right to that. If you're not from McDowell County and you live in North Carolina or New York City or somewhere, you're not going to realize what they go through down here in a country setting, in rural areas where you live up on a mountain and you can't get water lines up there. It makes your life so much harder when you have to haul water. And I'd like to see that change in the county. I'd like to see their grandkids maybe not have to worry about that. We do a lot of hard work, but you can't do it alone. I was very pleased to have EPA Administrator Regan come to the county and visit. I've never had anyone from EPA visit, to my knowledge, since I've been here 22 years, But he came down and he took the time to talk to the people and see what the needs were here in the county, and actually just sit down with them. And he was really concerned. He said, this has to change. We have to take care of this. We have to make a change.
Our coal communities were the communities that during the Industrial Revolution helped keep this country as competitive as it could be. Now they need federal assistance. They need a strong partnership. We're here to provide that partnership.
Spending time with community members like Rosa in West Virginia, being invited into her home, listening to the stories was life-changing. It was really frustrating to see how people were living on a daily basis. Raw sewage flowing in the creeks and streams, inadequate water infrastructure, some of the water infrastructure as old as 100 years old and not dependable for providing good, safe, quality, affordable drinking water. It's unacceptable in West Virginia, it's unacceptable in Lowndes County, Alabama, it's unacceptable anywhere in the United States of America. The Journey to Justice tour really was eye-opening to see it, to feel it, to have conversations that environmental injustice still persists with community members in West Virginia, Lowndes County, Alabama, Alaska, Puerto Rico, and people like Mr. Robert Taylor in Louisiana, Miss Sharon Levine, Dr. Beverly Wright, those who have been expressing frustration with the government about the disproportionate levels of pollution that they believed they've been experiencing. I saw on the ground the proximity of the petrochemical facilities, the inadequate infrastructure for providing good quality drinking water. I saw on the ground people who were expressing a desire just to be treated like everyone else across the country. At EPA, we have designed billions of dollars in grant programs, billions of dollars being invested into our infrastructure to ensure that every single person, no matter the money in your pockets, the color of your skin, or the zip code you live in, will have access to clean air, clean water, and safe and healthy lands. I hope that we can continue to move forward in a way that ensures that this is something that is given to all. The journey to justice continues.
It's going to be a hard, long fight, but hopefully getting out more information will help me to get the people to stand up. And if we get enough of the people to stand with us, we'll be able to make a difference here.